Dear Dad Ducks, I hope you are well and you are coping with the interlude between heat waves. It is very hot in this studio, and that's one of the reasons why this video you are watching now has not been made far earlier. But it's fitting that this video should be made for the last day of Trans Pride Month, Pride Month, and I think it's quite fitting that we close out the month of celebration and remembering where we come from in the queer community with this. So, on May 7th, 2026, Southampton City Council was part of the local elections that were taking place across England, in the Parliament in Scotland and in the Senate in Cymru. You may know of all the results that were in. Reform did rather well, but yeah. The 51-seat council in Southampton were up for election. Not all 51 seats, though, mind. 17 of them were up for election. At the end of the day, when the votes were all tallied and counted, the council went to no overall control, with Labour having 24 seats, Reform 8 seats, Liberal Democrats 7, Greens 6, and Conservative 6. Now, the good news is, of the candidates standing for the Green Party, 2 were Trans Plus candidates, and both of them won. Misty Burgess became the first trans woman ever to be elected to Southampton City Council. Hang on, I've got her stats here. She won with 1,183 votes on a turnout of about 39%. That's not bad for a local council election. The other Trans Plus candidate was Laurie Foster. They won with 1,432 votes on a turnout of even better, 45%. And that was in Portswood. That was impressive. So, as you know, many of us in the trans community in Southampton, around Trans Pride Southampton, have in the past, like we did in 2023, stood for election to the council. Now, we never really had much of a chance because the party organisation we were standing for doesn't do very well in the city. It never has done, really. We were just showing our defiance and our using our electoral mandate, as it were, to make a statement. It was needed at the time. It's needed now. So you wait years for a Trans Plus candidate to be elected to Southampton City Council. You get 2 come along at once. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Now, it was a pity Reform did well. Reform did well in the seats that were Conservative, apart from 1 Labour. But the Greens now have 6 seats, as I said, on the council. And they overturned majorities in predominantly Labour wards to win I think they stood 4 candidates in they had 4 of their members, Laurie and Misty, and I can't remember the other 2 people's names, were voted for and won in the election. And they overturned majorities of Labour-held seats. On the face of it, if it stays the same in Southampton, that the Greens gain where Labour fail, the council could turn green. It's quite possible. So the fear that we've all had in this city that it could go to Reform, it's not necessarily as warranted as we may have first believed. But this vote, these 2 Trans Plus candidates being elected to the council, is a big win. As you know, I've mentioned on these videos in the past, and I've mentioned on the radio show with Danny as well, that in the last census in 2021, about 10% of the population of Southampton was queer, regarded themselves that are filled in the forms, that regarded themselves as queer. That's one of the largest demographics in the city. That's larger than some of the ethnic communities in the city. So it's fantastic that we now have proper representation on the council, and they are making a lot of noise. And it fills me with joy to think that in the past, standing wouldn't have got us anywhere, but it shows that if you're persistent and people follow you in what you do, you can make a big difference. And I believe Laurie and Misty will make a big difference on the council. And they certainly are from the offset, representing the queer community in a big way. And all I can say is all power to them. It's fantastic that they're on the council. It's fantastic that we have this representation. I wish I could have voted for either one of them, but I had the choice of voting Nadia for Tusk or a Green candidate, and Nadia had more of a chance of winning for Tusk, and sadly she came second behind Labour, and she polled less votes than she did the last time she stood. So I think Tusk have no chance of getting Nadia elected in the Beavis ward. She's failed twice now. I can't see how they would get her elected again. The chances are a lot of people that would have voted for Nadia would have voted Green in a third choice, because the Greens, Nadia has a chance, doesn't really have a chance of winning, I don't think, in Beavis. So yeah, 2+ trans candidates on the council. Brilliant. And they're Green as well. So that shows you that the party really is inclusive. They led a campaign called Elect the Dolls that appeared on my Instagram feed a number of times. And they did put up a lot of trans candidates. I think more than any party has done in the past. And that was fantastic to see that representation. That was really good, and it filled me with joy feelings. it was nice to see, and to have two of us elected to the council is very special indeed. And when I heard the results, when I heard Misty's results and then Laurie's results, because I stayed up all night for the results, I was just made up. It just made the night even better, and I found it hard to sleep when I did eventually go to bed. So yeah, fantastic, great news. All power to Misty and Laurie for getting the win and representing the community, and getting for Misty the Bannister. I think it's Bannister and Polygon. She's councillor for. Diverse student community, and Portswood, where Laurie stood, again a diverse student community as well. It shows you how important the students are to the city, and the power of their vote as well. It can really count. So yeah, good news to end Pride Month on. Even though it happened in May, it's good to end Pride Month on telling you who may not be aware of how well the trans community has done in Southampton in these elections. Please like, share and subscribe, and I will see you again soon, ducks. Goodbye.